Ho ho ho! I'm back, and just in time for Christmas. And actually, this time the game is done. But I must confess, it has been more than a month. It has been 4, and it's been a month since the last video. So what have I actually been doing since the last time? So I added a new enemy, lol bit, because I felt as Night 4 was quite lacking. Since Night 4 is the final night of the game, I thought it would be cool to introduce a new enemy, as I felt it was lacking and felt too much like Night 3. So when the downtime ends, lol bit will pop up on the screen and block Freddy's order. Typing lol gets rid of her, as it does in, I think, in the Sis Location custom night. It's a pretty nice addition and it didn't take much effort. Adds another little layer to the base mechanics. And I would say it's probably the only mechanic that really flows into the pizza making mechanics. And it didn't take much effort to add, it was pretty quick and easy. Another thing that happens on Night 4 is around 2 AM the lights will go out and it plays that OG power out sound. It was very cool seeing my friends' reactions to this moment. Some cool music starts playing as well that starts to swell as you get close to 6 AM. Speaking of 6 AM, I reworked the windscreen and the game over screen. They have animations now and they look cool in my opinion. The 6 AM screen plays that FNAF, but it plays the FNAF 3 version of the 6 AM chime with some added reverb at the end. Or reverb, is that like echo? Echo, I can't exactly remember what I added in Audacity. And the continue button fades in once the sound ends. The game over screen is pretty basic. Just a render with Freddy with 2 buttons on the side, a retry button, and a back to menu button. Speaking of menus, I made the menu. Man, I am on fire with these transitions. I created the main menu, select menu, extras menu, select night menu, and a way to delete your save data. Don't even get me started on the save data, giving me cable physics vibes. But the menus have these really cool transitions using the animation player node, and the renders turned out great in my opinion. And they really just make the rest of the game seem like trash. I came to this realization that at the end of the day, the game could have been pre-rendered in Blender and it would have looked way better instead of being rendered in real time. At the end of the day, this project was meant to learn something new, which was 3D Godot. Anyway, we're too late now, we're too deep, we have to continue. But it was just to learn. At the end of the day, it was just to learn things. And I have learned lots of things in this project. How to create materials in Blender that work outside Blender, how to blend animations in Godot, how to create sound effects, how to use sounds in my game, and how to save game data. This was definitely the worst part of the whole thing. Game Maker makes this so easy. And the reason why it's so hard in Godot is because there's no documentation on the way I want to save my data. The way 99% of games do it is through the app data folder, and then it'll either go into local or the other ones, I can't remember. And I don't want my game to save in the dumb Godot folder. That's just dumb. I don't want it to go there, and I don't want to save it I want to do it that way because it just seems more proper, and I couldn't get it to turn into JSON file properly, and it's just but I figured out how to save stuff where I wanted it and how I wanted it, and I could save it in that proper spot. Anyway, now I can save data such as what night the player is on and their settings. Speaking of settings, the game has them, which is a first for FNAF games. No, that's a joke, but it's true that not many FNAF games have settings. I mean, at the end of the day, they don't need them, but I wanted to have a way to turn off things that the player might find annoying, and a way to make the game easier. And that was pretty much it. I created the game icon, exported the game, and it was over. I mean, that's what I would say, but Windows 11 and Windows 10 have different paths to the app data folder. I'm on 10, but most of my friends are on Windows 11. So the save data, since it saves it to the app data local folder, it won't work. Because they go through different routes to get there on Windows 10 and Windows 11. That's just from what I can see. The game works on Windows 11, but it doesn't save. So all I need to do is just like copy the game and just edit like the path that it creates, like the game folder and then all of the save data. That's what I need to do in theory. I don't know how that's going to go though. But if you do want to play the game on Windows 11, it will work, as I said. But like as I've said before, the game won't save your settings or like save data. So if you do close the game, it's gonna run everything fresh again. But the Windows 11 version, I'm gonna try to get that out as soon as possible. Taking a step back from that and looking at the game as a whole, I am pretty proud. I am pretty proud of what I made. I mean, it's not the best fan game. Maybe it's not even a good one. I'm good at like making renders and like robot stuff. I'm not good at making a game about cooking and pizzas, and I'm not good at real-time 3D. Well, I just don't have the practice, I should say. I'm sure I could make it better or use a different engine and learn that and get something better. But for trying something new, I think I did a pretty good job. And also, this is my first game, like, to the scale. I've made like little arcade games before, and little like tech demos, but this is like the first like my completed game. So I think I did alright, but I did have help from my friends and beta testers with, finding bugs, and we squashed the big ones, which was great. And the support on YouTube and GameJolt was crazy. Almost 100. There's almost 100 people following on the GameJolt page, which is crazy. There's a ton of views on the first and second parts of the series, and some notable comments from the video. Weirdo Speed, Crystallian. Sorry if I butcher that. Nico and Sinful Microwave. Those all like definitely gave me a lot of motivation to keep me working on the project. Definitely the game probably would have taken longer to make if it wasn't for all of the support. If you're still interested in the channel, I'm excited for you to see what I do next. I'm making a non-related FNAF game. I'm going to be making some FNAF renders, going into detail about how I do them. Maybe a few tutorials, and more. Now, there's not a lot of time before the video ends, and the question on everyone's mind is, will I make another FNAF game? Probably.